Yes, we are live. Hello and welcome to Product Lessons, a podcast channel where we talk to product leaders from all over the world and learn from them how they build and manage world class software products. Today, I'm thrilled to have with me Matei Culcer. He's the co founder of ProdCamp, and I came to know about ProdCamp just recently on a Facebook forum, Facebook group for product management, where Matai was very actively engaged in answering questions of its members. So, ProdCamp is product that helps you manage customer feedback and lot other use cases as well. We will get to know from Matei during the course of the interview. So let's welcome Matei. Hello, Matei. Welcome to Product Lessons. How are you doing today?
Hello, Ravi. I'm super excited to be here to be part of this podcast. I'm doing well, very well.
Thank you for your time on a Friday evening. So, as I mentioned, I'm quite fascinated by the product ProdCamp. The promise of it, I'm not a user yet, but the promise of the product is quite fascinating. So, why don't you tell us what is ProdCamp, and then I will ask you how the story about behind the scenes of building ProdCamp.
Sure, with pleasure. So ProdCamp is really a way for product teams to turn customer feedback and user feedback into operational efficiency and revenue. So it's built with the business impact in mind and easing all the continuous development process. The way it works is that it's really about capturing and establishing a single source of truth for all user feedback, wherever it comes from, organizing it and potentially sharing it with a roadmap, and we might talk about that a bit later.
Right.
And then prioritize and decide what to build next based on and what not to, obviously, based on the data you get and on the customer insight. And finally, automate the feedback loop, close the loop, and keep the user and the person who gave you a feedback informed about what's going on once he gave it, because that's only the beginning of the road. That's not the end.
That's amazing. So how long has ProdCamp been in the world?
Not too long. We are a new player, I must say. We launched the production version of our software in January this year.
January this year.
Yeah. But we worked before that for a year, a bit more, slightly more than a year, to develop the product, and more than developing the product, making a lot of research in the market, interviewing a lot of PMs, of VP of products, of all kind of product owners of all levels, understanding how they deal with it, with this problem today. And trying to craft the best solution for this problem.
Nice. So it looks like a very massive effort towards this. I'm very curious to know the genesis of this. Is this your first startup, or have you built something before this? Maybe some insights on that will be good.
Yeah, with pleasure. So this is my first startup for myself. Some of the founders, it's not their first. But it's definitely it's not my first company, but it's my first startup in software. And so just the genesis, maybe a bit of context about why did we start to actually build this, right, and why we focused on this problem. Right. And that's because the three founders, we were all working in the same company. And we had really the same problem, right, but in different departments, and we had different impacts, right? That's really interesting also to see the different level of impact it had on us and I must say I came to product management coincidentally, really. I was in charge of a business unit 6 years ago when I had to do a bit of product management among a lot of other things, trying to grow this business unit. And I was actually heading customer-facing teams as well. So sales team, customer success people, also sales engineers, and so we, as customer-facing people, were receiving tons of data coming from pretty much everywhere, from a Zoom call, from an email, from a customer, from a chat conversation, and a lot of user requests coming, prospect requests, sometimes customer requests, different type of requests coming in a high volume. On the product management side of things, right, and solution architecture side of things, the second founder was having trouble organizing, analyzing, getting all this feedback coming from multiple places.
Right.
And the third founder, who is a senior developer, couldn't really understand what was the context of what he should build, why he should build it, for who, and to answer what problem. Right. So it was really interesting, and we gathered one day, and we were like, we really exchange and communicate on this problem. And we're like, we need to do something about it. This cannot go over. Retention was decreasing. It's like we had some strong signals that this was a real problem that needed to be fixed. Lovely. So we decided to do it.
Lovely. So you had a problem and you wanted to solve it. That's amazing. So I know we are not prepared for a demo or some slides, but would you be, are you equipped enough, because we are doing a live stream? Would you be comfortable sharing a demo of the product? Maybe after a few minutes. I was not prepared for this, but since while we are talking, it would make more sense if you could demo it. Or if you're not ready, maybe we can skip it.
I'm always ready.
Excellent. Wow.
Cool.
Okay, cool. So I see your lovely user interface. So why don't you guide us through ProdCamp?
Right. So on the top of the screen here, it should be a trend of the feedback collection, just to see that your account is actually alive, up and running. This is a test account, so it's normal. There is no feedback incoming. So this is
the trail of feedback that I see right on the top. This is all kinds of feedback from all kinds of channels, right?
Absolutely. You will see an overview of all the feedback volume coming from any feedback channel.
Got it.
So this is really your dashboard, right? You will see the total number of feedback you got, the number of feedback that are unprocessed, so you can just go and actually process them, the number of daily feedback you requested, and also we want to give you a specific eye on the backlog, so it doesn't grow too fast, too big, because we know that once we end up with hundreds and hundreds of items in the backlog, it starts to be something you want probably to flush out sometimes, really, as a product manager.
So are you saying all the feedback that we are receiving automatically goes to the backlog, or how is it?
Yeah, so it's actually the feedback itself will not go to the backlog. The way it works is that you're receiving feedback, and then you will process this feedback by attaching it to an existing feature or creating a new feature out of this feedback and attach it. And so you will basically regroup under your feature dozens, hundreds of feedback related to this feature, which is also going to give you a lot of context once you will build it, right? So the dev team sees a lot of value out of the feedback and the insights behind the feature. And I will show you rapidly how this would play. And I apologize in advance, because there will not be insight into what I will show now, but I will show you how you can actually access insight. So we take any features, right? So this is our project Travel to Mars. So we are thinking about building a space hotel there. And the real idea here is that you get the feature, you get the ability to estimate the effort, you get the ability to give it a certain priority, to put it under a certain category, a certain state, and so on and so forth, to assign it to someone, to push it to Jira. We might talk about that and about the whole workflow.
So while we are talking here, these features are already pulled from Jira. So the integration here is Jira, isn't it?
It is absolutely. Yeah. So we have two. So I should have started with that, and I'm sorry again because I'm not really prepared. But the workflow is the following: ProdCamp sits in the middle of the feedback channel, the customer insight, and the project management tool, an equivalent to Jira or to UTrack, or you would use on the dev side of things, right? So we sit in the middle of this,
right,
and we analyze what's coming from all parts. We pull customer insight from Salesforce to be able to give you value insights, for example. Right. So we can score a feature and say, okay, this feature was voted or received feedback in any ways, no matter what is the way, from 700 customers.
Right.
And so you have 700 requests, and you have also a dollar value equivalent to, for example, $10,000, as you see on the screen now. Okay. So really, and that's it. And then you build your roadmap, you prioritize based on the customer voice. I mean, if you want to be a product-led organization, at least.
Right.
And once you do that, you just push it to your devs with context, and you work on it. And all the way, you keep the user informed about what's going on with the feedback loop. That's really it.
Got it.
And so we were just talking about insights here, and that's the insights. So you see that there is a feature here, right? And you can access exactly the feedback that were given by your users and get a lot of context right from the feature itself.
That is amazing. So, so there is a context for the feedback relevant to each feature, isn't it?
Exactly.
So how often do you have to manage these feedback and sort them to respective features? So is this something what would you propose to your customers? Should they do it daily or should they do it weekly to slot them into respective features?
Yeah. So we see a different scenario with our users, and it's entirely dependent on the volume of feedback you get, really. And that is function of your customer base. So we see, for example, people in freemium model typically receiving a lot of feedback.
So do you have a freemium model as well?
Well, so no. I'm talking about our users, our customers.
Right.
Those who have a freemium model.
Got it.
And have a very large user base. Let's not call it customer base, but user base.
Got it.
It is necessary to take in account the volume you get, and otherwise you cannot catch up, right? So you better come every day on a customer base of 15,000 people, for example, 15,000 users.
Right.
There are chances you will need to get there every day. To be able to process, analyze the data, and sort it out, basically. So that's what we say, and basically we kind of build this rhythm with our customers. And when we're having our discovery conversation, we just calculate the number of users they have. We know roughly there is between 5 and 10% of this user base who will actually give feedback, and so then we can project and forecast that.
Got it. My next question is, how can you identify features? Then there might be hundreds of features in Jira, right? So is there a way to search through those features, or what's the easiest way, or what do you propose through your product to link it to that feature?
Yeah, so it's to link it. So we export all the features from Jira. We synchronize with Jira, basically, or GitLab, for instance. And so what you will do is link it to a specific feature, and you will search this feature. So what we've seen is based on the keywords and all, you can find it fairly easily. And we actually, this is one of our next step, is to implement two things. The first step will be probably some sort of filtering and scoring and tagging, in fact, not scoring, but tagging system based on a certain framework, certain keywords, and so on. And the next step is a machine learning module that's going to help and learn with you and help you associate a specific feedback to a specific feature, or at least tell you, there is 80% chances that this should go with this. Can you please check it?
Got it. You also mentioned so you sit at the center of the Jira, the project management, customer insights, CRM. So help us understand, how does this work with CRMs?
With pleasure.
Yeah.
So really what it does is, you see you have here a customer section and a product section. So you can host multiple products within a single ProdCamp account and get feedback for multiple products, have multiple widgets, multiple roadmaps to share, multiple email forwarding, because this is not something we really talked about, but since I was just on the feedback side of things, we support many feedback channels, right? You have the public roadmap, you have the widget that is in-app, you have the Intercom integration where you can also leave feedback and collect feedback as a support person.
Help me understand. Sorry, I'm interrupting you a lot.
No, please.
So I'm not familiar with Intercom. Where does Intercom come in? What is Intercom trying to solve within the product? So
Intercom is actually a chat.
Yeah.
So it's a support chat or sales chat, whatever you want to implement it. So it's an in-app chats more often than not, and a website chat sometimes.
So chat with the support team, is it?
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So you would go there and start a conversation with support team. It's equivalent of Zendesk or stuff like that. I don't know which product you use internally, but basically you will start a conversation here. And what I will be able to do as a support engineer is being able to send it right to ProdCamp, right from the conversation, create the feature associated, create the feedback associated, link it to a specific feature, and integrate the user that is giving me this feedback into my feedback loop. So we keep him informed about what's going on. And the other aspect of it is the ability to vote. So you can here open our public roadmap, for instance, and upvote a specific feature.
So who gets to vote this?
Who gets to?
Who gets to vote this? Is it the customers?
Yeah. So as a customer, for example, now today as a ProdCamp customer,
right?
I want to kind of check the roadmap of ProdCamp, right? I could just open my Intercom chat, and within my Intercom chat, I would have this opportunity. I have several opportunities: request a demo, start a conversation, or provide feedback, right? So right from here, I'm clicking. This is again opening our public roadmap that is fully integrated with Intercom. You could have it on your website, and we have it on our website too. Just for clarity. And here, as a user, as a ProdCamp user, I can come and say, I need to FA. I need it. I'm going to upvote it right here and say, I need that.
Okay.
And I'm going to push. And now, first, I received a Slack notification telling me that one of my users just upvoted one of the feature.
Got it.
And I will be able to process it to get to it. And
how can others also vote this up?
So have this.
Yeah. How can he voted for his own feature request, but how can others also vote for the same feature request? So how does voting work?
So look, so here inside products, I have access to the public roadmaps?
Yes.
I'm going to have to switch to the right one. If you give me 1 second, I'll have to share again to show you the roadmap because it's opening in a new window.
No worries.
All right. Here we go. Tell me if you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can.
Cool. So here it's opening on the changelog, but you also have access to the roadmap. And so as simple as this, as a user, I would come here on our website or on the website of one of our customers, would be the roadmap, would be a page with a section of the website saying, here is our roadmap, and it's going to open this page. And I'm sorry, it's in dark mode now. It's not you have the both mode are available, but now it was by default on dark mode. And here you will have, okay, here are the section, the different things, right, that ProdCamp is working on in terms of integration, security, whatever.
Right.
And I will go ahead and I will be able to upvote it. And every single user can upvote the feature. And yeah.
So there is a list of features that other customers, other users have given. And when there is a new user who comes in, he gets to see this list of features, and then he can also upvote his favorite feature, right?
Absolutely. But if and only if you made in the first place this feature visible publicly.
Yeah. See,
so you moderate that, right?
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to stop it here and just show you the product side of things again.
Yeah. No, this is quite interesting. Especially sharing the roadmap to public is something very, very radical and of course good. So building in.
You mentioned, right? You noticed, right, that this is an agile roadmap. So we don't commit, right? This is not a Gantt thing. It's not a project stuff. We don't say we will roll out something in Q3 and give you the opportunity to send us 100 of very, very angry emails if you don't get it by Q3, right? So this is a way. There is a way to share your roadmap. There's a decision to be made whether you want to do that or not, and it's a strategic decision, and it has a lot to do with the culture of the organization, of course. But then there is a right way to do it once you decided to do it or not.
No, that is the first thing that I checked. So it is not actually committing dates or quarters. It is saying to be built next or soon or something of that sort, which is fairly acceptable. So I really liked it, and it's very participatory. It is collaborative. So you are actually asking your customers to be part of this. So I like it. So you are going in different directions. So first of all, it's not just getting feedback. It's not a feedback collection channel, but it's also a little more strategic in terms of, okay, you can prioritize your feedback and stuff like that. So
and look at this real quick, talking about prioritization. So you asked me earlier, what do we do with the CRM data and why do we do that, right?
Yes. So CRM data, I wanted to understand the context there.
So look, we use it for prioritization. What we do is we're going to fetch the account value from your CRM. So we say.
So account value is uniquely identifying the customer.
No, the unique identifier of the customer is email.
Okay.
And we gather contact. We use the same exact hierarchy that you will find in your CRM. We have accounts, we have contacts. Accounts, contacts are comprised within the account. We use exactly the same structure, and we fetch all this data, and we say, okay, we have these contacts within this account. The value of this account is 100K yearly, whatever.
Got it. So this is the average recurring revenue from this, or annual recurring revenue This is about
from
the
this.
size of the customer. How important is the customer? Got it.
Exactly. It's, you want to be able to measure business impact of doing something for this specific customer, right? You want to have the weight of this specific customer within your value chain. So this is what we do. And you want to have this because you want to be able to combine the number of requests that was made. And for example, here we have 7 requests made on this specific feature, to combine it and compare it with the value of the overall combined account value of all the voters or all the people that requested this,
right,
and compare it with the effort you will have to do to be able to roll out this feature. And we give you a real simple matrix that give you a very like insightful and clear way of what you should be doing, what will be a quick win, what will be strategic move, what is probably low priority and you should prioritize it in a way. And basically this is what you do here. And you will say, okay, so this is whatever needs to be part of a high priority, right? It's critical to do it because it's in the right part. It has the right balance of number of requests.
So as a product, you are recommending the high value feature. Okay. You use your own logic, which is, okay, this particular feature has been upvoted by 5 customers, out of which 3 of these customers are big ticket customers and they are paying you 50K revenue per annum. And that's the reason this feature is the most valuable feature. Is that how the logic is?
Absolutely. But what we are really telling you here is not you should build it, but you should pay attention.
Pay attention to, yes. Yes. And then, of course, we have to evaluate it. So, but you are just highlighting it. You are just making our job easy so that instead of we processing it, you are highlighting them in terms of, so what's your behind the scene logic? Behind the scene logic is how big the customer is and how many customers have voted for it, right? So let's see how, so the yellow one, if you click on it, what is it? What does it tell you?
So it tells me that 7 people have voted this feature. So I have 7 accounts that requested this feature for a combined value. So the 7 accounts combined yearly value is $16,000.
Got it.
And it's going to take me about 60 days to make this happen, to build it. And
how do you know if it would take 60 days to build it?
It's you decide. So I'm gonna open that real quick. But when you create a feature, obviously you need to go and talk to your dev team and do a bit of work here internally, do a meeting probably to do feature review and just have them estimate how long it will take for this feature to be developed. Or for this product to be developed.
So you are talking about features that are already refined and estimated.
Yeah. But obviously,
and is already on the roadmap.
Absolutely not. It could be in the backlog. It could be still in the. It's and in fact, in most cases, it will be in the backlog. So it's going to be something that you're already focusing on because it's part of the strategy. That's the first thing first.
Got it.
Then we highlighted for you that you needed to pay attention to this and that. Right. Then you will go and pay attention, go and dive a bit in the insights, probably schedule a customer interview with a couple of the accounts because you have their data, you know they are interested in this and it's making it easier for you. And you want some quality behind the quantity as well, right? Some more quality of the feedback. You want to understand the problem you solve, right? So you will get and get them on the customer interview. Then you will go talk to your dev and say, okay, this is good. This is requested. It's strategic. Customers that actually request. It's a big value. It's good for us. It's within our strategy. It solves a problem we want to solve. How much time would it take you to make this happen?
Got it. So we will have to differentiate between 2 kinds of feature request. One is which we already have in our radar, in our backlog. The other one could be new feature requests coming from customers, is not it? So we are not talking about that now. We're talking about features that are already in the backlog. Uh,
Absolutely.
okay, I get that. So this is also very promising. So thanks for sharing that. What other magic that you have under your kitty?
Well, we also, so we can do several other things. We can plan and push sprints. So you have a sprintless mode, because not everyone use sprint nowadays in product management. We figured that out once we were doing interviews. So you have a sprint.
Just curious. Sorry to interrupt. I will keep interjecting whenever there is a nugget of wisdom.
Please.
So you said not all product management teams are working on sprints. This is new information for me, because I thought sprints was common. Are they getting rid of sprints?
No. In the contrary, sprints is what is gaining, and more and more people are using sprints and are using the agile method, right? But not everyone got there yet, and we figured that much. We figured that much once we'd done a lot of user interview. Not everyone wants to use sprints, and that's why we also introduced a sprintless mode, where you can just push features to your Jira environment without having a real combination of features that you want to push as a sprint, basically. And this is a good planning tool, right? It allows you to combine features within sprint releases, right? And just follow that up as well. So it's pretty useful. We do a bit of road mapping, because I'm sorry, I selected the wrong one. I wanted the internal one. Right, so you have your road mapping tool that is here. You have your different stage, but it's more of a pre-road mapping, I would say. Under consideration, in design, ready for development. It's going to appear in a certain category. All this is customizable here on the left side. All the categories are customizable. You can create new ones, change them, whatever. And you can organize your roadmap, just simple drag and drop, right? You have your features. It's in development. Okay, I'm gonna throw it in the development column. I want to make this public. I don't want to make this public, right? So a lot of ways to organize yourself and organize your work as well, based on all the data you get and the customer voice you get. And again, because informing our users, I mean the users that are leaving feedback, is a big part of the feedback strategy. Because think about it, right? You're leaving a feedback, nobody gets back to you. This basically falls into oblivion, or you don't know, right? You have no idea, right? Next time when you want to give feedback, what do you do? You don't.
So yes, I completely understand. So they feel heard, they feel responsive, and it's not like a black box where they do not know what happened to the feedback. So how do you intimate them about, how do you update them about what's happening with their feedback?
Several ways. First, if we can identify them at the start of the funnel, so when they leave the feedback, for example, the in-app widget, it's identifying a customer automatically, right? We can do that. The roadmap, the voters on the roadmap.
So where does the in-app widget come from?
So the in-app widget is just a widget you will see on the right side of the screen.
So you have your own in-app widget?
Yeah, absolutely. It's right here. Look.
I see. Okay.
So share your feedback. So this is one of the feedback channels. One of them. You could implement this widget on your website, not even inside your app. You can have it on the main website, on the home page if you want. Or on some specific page. For example, we've seen people adding it to the pricing page.
Okay.
In case people wanted to get feedback on pricing, on the pricing model. So this is how, and if I leave now a feedback here, it's not going to, so I can take a screenshot. The screenshot will be automatically added as well. I need to add a bit of text here. Okay. So you see, screenshot was added. I just had to push on the button. I have nothing else to do. Just push on the button, and it was added automatically. Then I send the feedback, and it's done.
Right.
Now I'm inside the feedback loop. So as soon as this feedback will be processed by someone.
Right.
I'm gonna get a notification. Your feedback has just been processed. Right. Second, this feedback has been processed and linked to a feature. I will get a notification. Your feedback has been processed. It's now related to this specific feature.
So the user gets these notifications saying that now it is linked to a feature.
Yeah, personal notification saying that, look, this feedback that you gave us is now related to this specific feature, and you can follow this feature development here on our public roadmap, for example, if you're sharing your public roadmap.
So these are your actual customers, paying customers. So in the chat, you are able to identify their identity because they are a paying customer, so you know who they are. So this is okay. So on a website which has all kinds of users, they need not be customers. Then it is not possible, right? Because this is a random user or a free user. Then it is not possible. You're talking about a user who is a paid user and has
inside the app,
provided his identity. Okay.
Yeah. Now, and we cannot identify on the website. That's true, and that's why we are advising to be really careful about putting a feedback widget on the website.
Got it. I completely get it. Okay, so this is one channel. Chat is one channel. So you are actually competing with Intercom with providing a chat widget, is it?
No. We use Intercom.
Okay. So got it.
We fully integrated with Intercom. So anyone using Intercom can come to us, have the feedback ability within Intercom. I can really show you quickly how it looks on Intercom side of things if you want.
Yeah, sure. And do you also support other chats or only Intercom?
So for now, we support only Intercom. Because most of our customers use Intercom. That's as simple as that. I think just before our meeting, you one of your questions was like, how do you collect feedback? But we use our solution from A to Z to prioritize, to collect the customer voice, and to work on our product. This is our main and only product management tool. Inside.
How do you differentiate between a bug and a feature?
So right now, we don't really want to track bugs so much, to be honest, because it's not about tracking bugs, but about tracking feature, about developing the feature.
But the feature request might actually be a bug.
Absolutely true.
So is this something that you reject when you are processing all the feature requests?
So that depends upon your organization, really. Some people will say it's not me. It's going to be a specific PM taking care about issues and like some strategic move and some strategic improvement will be another PM. So it's really depend or product owner, in fact. So it's really depend on the org. That's the truth. So I cannot give you a general rule for that, unfortunately. But so sorry, I lost the track of where I was before the.
No, you wanted to demo something for Intercom.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I want to do is actually open the Intercom right here. And I will be just sending a message. I didn't see that I could give a feedback. I didn't catch it. So I'm just gonna ask Ken, hello. Can you translate the app in Spanish, for example, whatever. I'm going to send that. And now, once the magic happens, you need to just give me 1 sec to switch the screen and show you what's going on.
So Intercom is a bot, right? Or is it a hybrid where actual support agents can actually respond to messages? Or is
it's a hybrid?
Okay.
It's a hybrid. Yeah, you can set up a bot, but it's originally not a bot. It's originally operated by support people. Really, and they added some bot functionalities as well. So okay, so here you see I'm within our Intercom test environment. So I receive the feedback right, and this ticket from my user. Now,
are you sharing back something? Okay, now I see it.
You see it now? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Great, awesome. So this user told me, can you translate the app in Spanish?
Okay.
Sure. I have my little ProdCamp widget right here. I'm doing my research, Spanish translation, right? This is searching within my ProdCamp account, right away.
Okay. So is it searching?
I'm selecting it. So it's related to what I have within my ProdCamp account.
Got it.
It fetched the fact that there is a feature called Spanish translation already.
Nice.
Right? And now I'm answering. I could obviously answer other stuff meanwhile, but I'm just showing the user straightforward process here. You could actually talk to the user, obviously.
Got it. So you train your support staff to, while they are engaging with the user or the customer, they should also try to capture this in ProdCamp, isn't it?
They should absolutely do that. Absolutely do that. So, and really, and this is maybe the biggest topic, but the one we didn't talk about, it's what is your org culture? If you don't have a customer voice culture within your org, this is the first step you need to do. You need to go talk to your managers and talk as a team, gather as a team and say, okay, guys, do we want to listen to our customer? Do we want to be product led? Do we want to do all that? And there are small steps then you can take to show the value of all this process and why it's important to do it. Once you make it easy, it's also better. Once you make it easier for the support guys, right? This is also about it. And this is easy, right? It's 2 clicks.
This is amazing. If we are done with the demo, so you shared one channel, which is the chat channel. What other channels are you willing to show now?
So I just wanted you to see how it's look like on the customer side of things, just to finish on that, because I'm always very focused on customer experience, and and I think that's really interesting to always see that. So here is, you remember I sent this email, right? This message I'm receiving, your feedback has been recorded, Spanish translation, great. Now I can open this inside the public roadmap. Right. And I'm sorry it's not switching from one to another, and I'm better doing I'm doing screen sharings. I should actually share my whole window. It's going to be much easier. I should have started by doing that, but I apologize. Okay, so here we are. Tell me when. Yeah, a little. Okay. So sorry. Here you go. So I just we're here, right? I'm opening it. It's opening a new tab, and I'm getting into. Okay, here it is. It's inside the backlog. It's about adoption. So it's not planned on the roadmap yet, but now I can actually even share it with some of my colleagues or my co-workers or whatever, for them to follow it as well. And I will be informed about what's going on with that. Right. Got it. So we talked about the Intercom side of things and the chat. We talked about the public roadmap. That is another way. This is our own public roadmap, by the way. And this is another way to get it done. One other way is the Chrome extension. For example, now we don't have any social media integration, right? And we know that there is feedback there as well. So how we tackle it for now is through the Chrome extension that we have, and it's going to very simply give you the ability. You see it here on the top right corner of my Chrome browser. And here you have the ability to just open it, select the customer account, select the contact right from here. There's no easier way to capture feedback than this one. Tell me if you can see my screen now.
I see it now, yes.
Okay, so here on the top right corner of my browser, do you see the little ProdCamp logo?
I see that, yes.
So do you see it do you keep seeing the window that open?
Yes.
Right. So this is the way you will capture, for example, feedback on pretty much anywhere, but we design it first for social media, really. So the way it works is really simple. I will go and just select some text because this is the way it works. So, okay, I selected text here. It's going to, for example, so I'm opening the Chrome extension, and it's going to tell me who voted this. Do you know? Do you have a customer account? Do you have customer contact? Do you have a first name? Do you have a last name? Right?
Now, hold on a second. So who is going to be using this Chrome extension?
So this Chrome extension will be used by whoever pilots your social media today. So that's going to be probably marketing, or community manager, whatever. If he receive a feedback that is related to product, just have a Chrome extension, you just select the text, input the name of the customer, submit, and that's it. He's done. Next, it goes to the PMs for analysis.
Got it. So he does not have to open the application in a new tab and log in and stuff like that. So what you are doing is you are just making it easy for them to feed in feedback. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, got it. So this is one more channel to get in feedback. So if a salesperson is talking to a customer, he does not have to take notes and then send an email to the product management team. He just gets a feedback, a very important feedback, and there is a Chrome extension right on top. He clicks on it while he's having a conversation with the customer and adds his feedback. Okay.
Yes. The last way you could tackle this use case is through email forwarding. So you can imagine that within a sales conversation, I'm sorry, I keep coming back there. Within a sales conversation, right, or I don't know, a support conversation or a product management conversation, maybe, you will receive an email gathering the request with a bit of, maybe technical depth there or whatever, context and all that. Instead of having, again, to log in and to input it there or so on, you can just forward it to a specific email. This email will be your product ID plus an extension. And this will parse the email within your feedback with all the content associated. And in the same way, you can link it to a feature, create a new one out of it, and you will get the full context as an email inside the inside part of your feature.
Okay.
So you remember, right? When we are going to feature and I'm opening an actual feature, I'm getting the ability to drill down into the feedback associated with the specific feature and get back to the source of it. And that's another way you can do it with email forwarding. So that's one of the other feedback channels we support so far.
Got it. This is also nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And the last thing I wanted to tell you about the product, and then I think we're done already because we talked about the product a lot here, is the changelog part. And this is a part of the feedback loop I was describing. So we were talking about the notification, right? The fact that each time feedback is being processed, attached to a feature, the specific feature start to get worked on, is being released in beta. All this you get, right? We keep informing you. The other way to do it is through a changelog. It's an in-app changelog. We have two types of changelog. We have an in-app changelog, so you could have the same exact thing here. So you just have a small icon within your app that is going to give the changelog and give all the details about what you just built with a bit of context. Another link to the product roadmap as well, right here. And if we go into the product roadmap, you will see, and you saw it quickly earlier as well, that here too, you have a changelog.
Right.
That is accessible if you're sharing your public roadmap. But we wanted to give value to those who didn't decide yet to share a public roadmap and give them the ability to have changelog as well. So that's why we done the two options.
Got it. Yeah, sharing changelogs is also a good idea. Excellent. I think you have a feature-rich product here, and the most fascinating thing for me is this is pushing the boundaries of product-led activities.
Absolutely.
Because you spend a lot of time in your support cost managing feedback requests, and it gets complicated. But here you are enabling customers to directly interact with your internal processes by giving them feedback, and then you are also creating an engagement model where it is not thrown into a black box, but you are actually making them part of the conversation, so they're engaged, and you are getting rid of all the other organizational bureaucracy that comes in just to manage challenges. Okay. So this is actually very path-breaking, groundbreaking. I mean, I've worked in a lot of product companies, and I don't think we have achieved this seamlessly yet. So how's the competitor space around this feedback? I know we did the demo first, but I would want to go back to the theory of it. What should be a good feedback culture? What should be a good feedback strategy? Let's talk about that as well. But let's talk also about some of your competitors. So, is this the way the competitors are also moving in this? How is the space there?
Yes. I think the product-led logic and methods is spreading, and it's probably because it makes sense, to some extent, and so yes, there are a lot of a certain number of tools that are trying to go in this direction. Some are legacy tools. It's maybe not a very nice way to call them, but it's older players that were doing some sort of project management, tried already to kind of be in between product and project management. And I'm seeing this new wave, this new trend coming in, and I'm trying to implement some module that will do the job, but it's not exactly in the right logic with the right workflow, and there's a simplicity that must absolutely come with such a solution, such a strategy, and culture, really, because that's the way you get people to do something. If it's easy. If it's difficult, you won't ever reach the same level of engagement anywhere. You won't be anywhere near it.
No, I completely understand that. Because you are building it from scratch, so you are not a legacy product. You are not trying to mold your existing product into this field. Your intent was from the very beginning to be feedback management tool, and maybe you might be branching also into say product management, prioritization, and stuff like that, which is adjacent use cases, which makes a lot of sense.
And that's why for mid-size organizations, small to mid-size organization, we are a great tool.
Right.
Really, because it's simple. You have one tool.
Right.
You don't have dozens of them. Right. And of course, you will need other things. I mean, you will need Miro to draw some stuff. And I mean, we don't intend to give one ring to rule them all, right? But nevertheless, are you still with me? I think I lost you already, so I'm going to wait a bit.
I am there. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's about the way you lead to simplicity, really, and you provide the simplicity that will feed the culture part, because like it must be simple, really, to do it, to operate it, and so on. And that's the direction we are going, in
Got it.
making it the most simple, the most automated possible. We want to really, we have a certain 100% of energy, right? And
Right.
and there's as much as we can do in 24 hours and so on. What we really want, we think, and we know product managers are very smart people. Their brain needs to be used toward the right, and have the right focus. Should not be taken, and this energy should not be eaten by some repetitive operation, and at the least possible. We all do some repetitive operations, but the least possible, so you have the brain, the room to be able to focus and think about how to improve things within your organization, and move forward on a strategic and operational level, but not just having to copy paste emails within your Excel tab.
No, I completely understand. So let's get into the literature stuff. Maybe I should have done the opposite. I should have talked about, we should have discussed about the theory and then the demo. But nevertheless, demo was amazing. So, what
Thank you.
according to you is a good user feedback strategy? Like, what are the principles or guiding principles for a good user feedback strategy?
Before the strategy, I want to talk a bit about the culture.
Sure. Yeah, culture. Let's talk about culture. Yes.
Because I think it's really, really related, and at first it starts with a culture, and more often than not, this culture is top down, or it's difficult to get it.
Right.
It's difficult to have it bottom up, and just being able to actually go to your boss and say, look, I think we should be more oriented, we should listen more to our customer voice, or we should be more product led oriented, and things like that, or we should really pay attention about feedback and stuff like that. It's not easy to do that unless you have a business case behind it. And the business case is not that difficult to build when you know that today, and especially in the SaaS industry, right, their competition is raising. Building an app has never been easier than today.
Right.
The customer acquisition cost is rising constantly,
Right.
day after day. Retention becomes more and more important.
Right.
You have, on average, a SaaS tool has 6 competitors at least.
Right.
Right. So we are talking about this context, right? So now you need to build a business case that actually you need to listen to your customers, to know what they need, to know how their needs evolve, right? You need to be listening to that and to take the pulse constantly.
Right.
Now, so once you say that and you build a business case, it's how to make it happen. And that here comes the culture part.
Right.
That will always be fitted, in my opinion, with the right process.
Right.
That comes with it. And the why is that, why do we want to do that? Why are we doing what we do in the very first place? It's even goes to the roots. Why do you build this product? What problems are you solving? For who you are solving it? You should answer all these questions first, and then you should say, okay, and now why do I want to collect feedback? Is it to fix my product? Is it to increase quality? Is it to be able to feed my strategy with ideas? Because we were talking about feedback as features feedback, or voting features. You have a not entirely different ways of giving a feedback. Just suggesting an idea, right? It can just be that, right? So this is already the whole ideation process might be also fitted with this funnel of ideas coming from the customers.
Got it.
So the real thing here is to ask yourself why you're doing that, and then have the right tools and processes to make it the most simple as possible for everyone, for your users and for your internal stakeholders.
Right.
And when I'm saying internal stakeholders, I'm saying customer-facing teams. So a big part of the feedback collection process.
Right.
And I'm also talking about the other side of the process, which is the analysis and the product management part of the process.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it. Excellent. And you said that this is the culture that you wanted to talk about. Do you also have a feedback strategy?
So the strategy is really.
No worries. Is that your baby?
It's my girl. She just arrived in the room. Mon chaton, je suis en train de travailler, mon cœur. Oui. Oui. Je vois que c'est cassé, mon cœur. Je vais le réparer tout à l'heure, d'accord? Oui, parce que c'est cassé, maman. Comme ça. Oui, d'accord. Là, parce que c'est cassé. D'accord, tu me le laisses ici. C'est très gentil, mon cœur. Je vais le ramener tout à l'heure. Je vais le réparer. Merci. It's my little girl.
Maybe she's also product led.
Oh yeah. She's the customer voice, I think, more than.
She's the customer.
You better listen. Yeah. So we were talking about strategy, about culture, sorry, and we wanted to talk about strategy. So yeah, it should be comprehensive. Really, you should not force a feedback workflow over your users. You should not try necessarily to make them fit into whatever you think is right for the way of giving feedback. Really, we believe that the more option you give, the better.
Right.
Because not everyone wants to give feedback like that and like that and like that, and there is a huge drawback in the way product managers are working today, and just because they have 24 hours in a day, is that they're trying to capture and collect customer feedback on their own agenda, on the company's agenda, not the user agenda, right? So this is making a big difference as well. So that's why we believe you need to provide as many multi-channel channels possible. You need to have a comprehensive and easy way to capture and organize them in a single place, in a single repository. So you get context and you get all the insights you need coming from all the rest of the organization, right? And I'm thinking about Salesforce or CRM or whatever CRM you use. And it needs to stay simple as possible internally in the way you do it and the way you use it.
Right. Got it. Thank you. That was quite nice. So do you support all kinds of CRMs, or what kind of CRMs do you? Is it only Salesforce, or how?
Yeah, for now, that's Salesforce on the CRM side of things. But we also have an import feature where you can just download your customer base as a CSV, push it within ProdCamp, really easy, map it out. So we get at least some kind of insight. It won't be real time. It won't be updated real time, but it might be a way to do it as well and just upload it. But we are planning to release more CRMs integration in the future. We have HubSpot in pipe right now, and probably Zoho coming next. Zoho CRM coming next. And on the other side of things, we have Jira and GitLab for the dev tools, and we are also planning to add a couple more probably before the beginning of the next year.
Got it. I also wanted to know what about feedback that is asked for from the customers, like when we ask them to participate in an NPS survey or any regular survey. Is this part of ProdCamp or not?
So we really believe in real time a lot. And in customers' agenda, and asking on customers' agenda, and a survey is still not that. So we leave survey out of our scope, at least for now. But that's different for NPS. We believe NPS is a lot looks like a lot like feedback. It's just associated to a score, right?
Right.
And in that sense, and because we experience it as well, really qualitative insight coming as a comment of the NPS, and nobody actually paying attention to it or analyzing it. So we want to integrate NPS as a feedback channel, and it should probably come, I don't want to say by the end of the quarter because I don't want to commit, but soon.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. Yeah, NPS is again very, very powerful.
Yeah, we will stay tuned.
So on your homepage, I found a nice graphic of the integrations. So ProdCamp is at the center, Salesforce is on one side, Intercom is on the other side. Help us understand, how does the Slack integrations work?
Oh yeah, so the Slack integration is really a way for you not to have to connect within your ProdCamp all the time.
Right.
So it's a real time notification about, look, you got a feedback. Look, you got a feedback. Do you want to process it? Do you want to process it? It's as simple as that, really.
Right.
As simple as that.
Got it. Okay, so just a notification for all the feedback that is coming in.
With a link toward the app, so you can open it directly, easily. Again, simplicity.
Got it. And then on the right-hand side, you have two logos. Is this Sketch? I do not know.
Oh, so on the right hand, this is Jira and GitLab. This is a logo of, this is Jira and GitLab. Yeah.
Got it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the integration is okay. We okay, that is understood. All right. So you are, I think I love your content that you create, and that's where I got to know about some really interesting, like the KPIs blog post was really informative. You talked about service recovery paradox. What is a service recovery paradox? I mean, usually whenever I hear any new phrase, I get very curious. Never heard of this. Could you help explain what this means?
Yeah, absolutely, with pleasure. That's actually one of the benefits you get by having a real feedback management strategy. You get the recovery paradox. So what it means really is that everyone knows that a software, a product or a service is never perfect. Nobody expects perfection.
Got it.
But so they will understand that they can run into some problems. They have some bugs. They have some lacking functionalities, right? And they will tell you about it.
Right.
And the way you will react and respond to this query, to this feedback, will change the perception of the user and increase satisfaction, regardless of you actually fixing the problem.
Got it.
So, and I've seen it on like customer interviews, extensive one with big customers in my career, and we were like 1 hour and a half, 2 hours of conversation. We need this, we like this doesn't work exactly as expected, this should be like this, like this, like this. And at the end of the call, we say, yeah, we'll try to do it better and the quickest as possible. But you know how it is. There's a number of quests that we will discuss it with the dev team. We'll see, and we were really listening, paying attention, caring, obviously caring. We spent 2 hours with the guys on this call, listening to them, responding, being curious to dig deeper. Right. At the end of the call, they're like, "Thank you so much, guys. Like, this was an awesome call. We didn't fix anything. We didn't solve any single bug they had, but they were happy and customer satisfaction raised up. And this is a customer that's still in the company. It was in the previous company I was working for. It's still there, it's still growing, and they're still happy. So really, this is the recovery paradox. It's like the way you react and the way you show you care and you pay attention to the customer voice will already increase customer satisfaction.
So this is very human, right? So usually what happens is, if you are talking to a person and he has a lot to share, and if you don't talk but you are actively listening, you are just showing interest to what he's saying, at the end of that, he will say that you were one of the best conversationalists. And what did you do? You did not converse.
Not much.
All you did was listen intently with heart, with all your attention. So that is the
Absolutely.
power, and it is very human. It works with customers. It works with businesses. So thanks for sharing that. I'm curious to know how is your product priced? Like, is this a subscription? Is it a license model? Maybe you can share some inputs there.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a subscription. It's a subscription model. You can either pay yearly or monthly.
Mm-hmm.
This is one small differentiator with some of our competitors as well.
Right.
Not the price, not that we are more affordable than them, but our pricing is better for companies that are using a freemium model, for example, that have huge volume of users. Because most of the competitors on the market, they price you on the number of tracked users.
Got it.
So the biggest your customer base and your user base, regarding of the customer's part, right? Because it's also about that. You could have 20,000 users, but 1,000 paid customers, and you will still pay for getting the feedback of the whole customer user base. So it's not always very handy, especially it doesn't scale. This is not a pricing that scales very well for users. They don't like it very much. So that was one of the feedback we got actually from our users, that we're better on this side of things. So you pay by seats, you pay by users. I will try to quickly share it here so we can see.
So are you saying you only pay for paid users? Is that how it is?
So what you pay is for people using ProdCamp application. That's it.
I see. Got it.
No matter how many people upvote on the public roadmap, we don't care about that. We don't look at it.
So people using as in internally, you mean your employees?
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. Your employees working within the ProdCamp app will have to pay between $8 and $24 per users. And there is, functionality wise, it's not exactly the same. So I will let you go over it. There's a full list of features. What I can tell you is that if you need integrations, you will be on this pricing. If you don't need any integration, you will be there. It's also depend on the number of user overall you have within your account. So for any organization that will have more than 5 users, within ProdCamp, it will be $24 per user per month, paid annually.
Got it. So you're not okay. So it's not based upon how many of the customers of your customer are using. It is based upon your direct customers, the number of people within that organizations who are managing it. Okay. Okay, completely get it. So you wanted to share something?
I don't know.
Oh, you are already sharing it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm already sharing.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So there is a growth tier, there's a pro tier, there's a business tier. All right. And then there are per user per month. Got it. So the users are not your customer's customer, but they are the users within your customer.
They are the users within our customer's company. Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, this is per month. Excellent. This was really helpful. I thought the demo was very important, and the reason why
we did it.
Just for the audience, this is not a promotional podcast, anyways. So I'm nobody's.
2 days ago, Ravi and myself, we didn't know each other. So.
Yeah. So neither ProdCamp or Matei is paying me for this. The reason why I was very interested to do this demo and this conversation was just to see how the ecosystem is evolving, the feedback ecosystem is evolving. What is the trends that we are seeing in terms of managing feedback? And I think this is quite phenomenal, and this is the way to go. This is completely supporting the product-led growth, and for all the reasons that we already discussed. So this is mighty impressive, and thanks, Matei, for building this. Especially, I'm also very impressed that you saw this problem and you jumped into it, and and you built something really, really beautiful. I just wanted to know, with regards to your founders, did you have tech founders within the three of you, or did you have a tech background in terms of building products? Did you have a tech co-founder, or how was it?
Yeah. So we have three founders, and two of them, one is very technical. He's a full stack senior developer.
Got it.
A genius, just saying. And my second founder is also a very technical person. He has a data security background, solution architecture background, and product management background. So they are very technical, and I'm the less technical of us three. But I like to think that I'm one of the most technical business person you can find. So yeah.
So you come from sales background.
Sales, project management. Actually, project management first. Project management. Then I went for sales, and now I'm here.
Excellent. Well, this brings us to the end of a fascinating conversation with Matei. Matei, again, I cannot thank you enough for sharing your wealth of wisdom and practitioner feedback management.
Thank you, Ravi, for inviting us here, for inviting me, and it was really a pleasure. And I'm sure we will keep in touch. And hopefully maybe do another session one day.
Excellent. Let's do that.